So I was driving to work today, driving to my company HQ, and I was thinking about the notion of like just the dynamic where people try to constantly have opinions about much of everything, and say that this is how things should be. But the commonly practiced route is not to go and interject into actuality to try to fix those things, but to just talk about them and complain about them. And look, I complain about things that I don't go and change. But I consciously am moving away from that, like I have been for years, and consciously still I'm like, okay, I'm complaining about something or thinking about something that I don't have the capacity to change. And damn it, if I'm going to sit here and talk about it, like, let me just go change it. Let me just go. I'll go interrupt that area and see if I can change it. Because otherwise, I feel very uncomfortable with the notion of complaining about it, unless I'm able to go and affect some sort of change in some capacity. So I was thinking about that idea, like that's sort of the pervasive strategy. And I think about the idea of, I sometimes feel a little bad because I'm very aggressive about how I want the world to be, and then I go and execute in that way. And I sometimes feel bad because folks go, you're always trying to control things. You're always trying to make things happen in your way. And sometimes, like, I've fallen victim to the psychological kind of dynamic of feeling a little bit bad about that. But I think that I've like come to this understanding finally, and I wanted to share that with other entrepreneurs and productive people, because this is the kind of way it needs to be. Is that I don't really feel bad anymore about that. You know, the way that I think the world should be is the way I'm going to try to make the world. And if you think the world should be, you as in like other folks that think the world should be different than the way that I think it should be, if you think it should be different, then you are in competition with me to make it the way that you want to see it. And I respect your hustle to go out and make it the way that you want to see it, and make things the way that you see them in your head, and that's great. And if it conflicts with mine, we'll talk about it. Maybe we'll argue about it constructively. Maybe we'll compromise, or maybe it won't even matter, and it doesn't matter because it's just so unrelated. We're so unrelated to one another in relation to this sort of thing that it just is a non-problem. But I very much think that there's enough room for all of us to kind of employ strategy to make the world do what we want it to do. I'm really specifically talking about in the context of our own ventures, adventures, occupational endeavors, ways of making money, things we want to create, maybe social entrepreneurship endeavors. We're all entitled to our capacity to go and do that. And there's enough room in the world for us to all go and make the world do kind of what we want it to do. But we got to work together if we do meet and kind of bash heads on something to work a compromise and then continue to move forward, or we separate and make it unrelated, not relate to each other, and continue doing our thing. But I think as an entrepreneur, you really have to be that kind of person, kind of always. Don't feel bad about it, too. You see the world a certain way, and you're very confident in the way that it should be that way. Saying you're right or wrong is just super subjective and not considering confounding variables and it being situationally dependent. So you probably are right. There's a good chance if you're a very solid individual, running a business, being productive, contributing to society, being awesome, that you're right about it as it relates to you. So keep doing it. Keep trying to actualize your vision of what you think things should be, and fight for something. Fight for a vision that you have. I think it's critically important there. And to be timid about executing on the things that you think should be in the world is a great way to land yourself in a position of psychological inferiority, which will make you behave in the reverse end of the coin there, and the psychological superiority, which just makes you look like, to people who know psychology and humans, makes you look like you're doing that dynamic there, where you're really inferior, so you act superior as a result. You really need to be superior and do your thing so that you don't have to run into those weird, quirky psychological problems, and so you can make your thing happen, whatever it is. Make sense? Everybody's about talking about what they think things should be, and I think that I've just wanted to make a video about promoting doing it. Tweet it. Peace.